on with me and myself and I, Dana Man Napoli. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to say that I'm so sorry for the last few couple of episode missing from the last few Wednesdays. I was out of town the first 2 weeks. That's the first two, for 2 weeks, and we got really busy on the 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 week after. But anyway, enough of that. Today's topic of the day is social media. And I'm gonna read to you my perspective on social media. And I have a special guest today too. And that's my very awesome sister, Marissa Spinazzi. And the topic of today is social media. Social media keeps me up to date on everything. I like to know what people are doing in their respective lives, and I get that information from social media. Sometimes when I see people doing fun things on social media, I might feel like I want to call, text, or post something to them. I try really hard not to do it because people are busy doing something else, and it might make them feel uncomfortable. When I see people doing things on social media without me, I feel left out. Tell me, what can people do to help? Tell me, I can't talk right now because consider inviting me to do something with them. Story about topic. I feel every time when I'm on social media, I feel like I want to call everybody. At the same time, I need to stop doing that because they are busy at a wedding, or someone is trying to get married right now. On top of that, funerals, vacation time, and grocery shopping also. Hey, Marissa.
Hey, Dan.
What do you use social media for?
So I use social media to a lot similar to what you said. I like to see what people are up to.
Right.
And now that my husband and I have a little girl, we like to share with our family on there some photos, or we'll let them know what they're up to. Or some people reach out in the direct messages and like to ask about our lives, and it's just nice to be able to connect every now and then.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And my sister has an article she found on social media.
I do, Dan. So what's interesting though about social media, because as we talked about, like sometimes you have FOMO, right? Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Like you'll see, and I get that too. So I'll be scrolling, I'll be like, oh, I didn't get invited to this, or oh, I didn't get invited to that event or something. And so I'll kind of have this, like, sometimes I don't feel so good about it when I'm on social media. And I was reading about social media, because there have been so many different studies about it, and the National Library of Medicine even points out, in one of their really big studies, it's found that people who use social media actually, like, there is an equivalent, that's not the right way to say it, but social media can cause anxiety and can cause depression.
Yeah.
There are, and I think that's probably one of the reasons, because like you said, and like I said, sometimes we see those things and feel bummed like we're missing out on stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and what's also interesting is there's a doctor who he published in the New York Times, and he said that he wants Congress to require warning labels on social media that are similar to like the warning labels that would be on alcohol and cigarettes.
Exactly.
Because 95% of teens ages 13 to 17 use social media, 35% say they use it almost constantly. Yeah. And he said that a warning label would help with a shift in social media culture. And he urges parents to introduce phone-free time. So, like with my daughter, I've had to set time limits on my phone because I don't want my daughter to see me on my phone all the time. Right. I want to be talking with my daughter all the time.
Right.
So for me, social media has now kind of shifted. Now I see it more as a distraction than it is really helpful anymore.
Right.
Because it's distracting me from time that I want to be spending with my family. And so I set the iPhones have this feature where you can set a time limit. So if I spend 10 minutes on Instagram, it shuts me out of Instagram.
Right.
What would you think of that?
About all of that?
Yeah, like what do you think about setting time limits on things?
That sounds like a great idea.
Why?
Great idea, because that way, for example, like if you want to go to bed by a certain time,
Yeah.
then you have to know like when to put your phone down or something.
Yeah, I like that because sometimes like the endless scrolling is it just you lose track of time.
It's funny. It's fun, but again, you lose track of time.
Yeah,
exactly.
lose track of time and like you stated before, like it can sometimes make you not feel so good.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's I guess my feelings towards social media have kind of changed.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't really depend on it that much anymore. Like if there are people that
Right.
I want to talk to or I want to see, they'll reach out or I'll reach out and
Right.
yeah. So I don't rely on social media very much. I never
As
really
much.
did, but
Yeah.
I also definitely need to limit it
Yeah.
as a distraction now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
awesome.
think yeah, what do you think of it being a distraction?
I think it's a distraction. I try not to think of it as a distraction.
Okay.
I think of it as a good thing, but at the same time, it can be a distraction.
Mhm. Yeah, because it totally can be a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wanted to know your take on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how is social media a good thing?
It is. They have platforms. They have
Mhm.
other ways of. If you for example, like if you're nervous speaking in like a in a pub, and again, I want to say like to thousands of people.
Mhm.
You can also use Facebook, or Instagram or whatever to voice your opinions or your matters on Facebook.
So then it's like you're not speaking in front of a crowd, but you kind of are because you're putting a video out there, but and thousands of people can see it.
Yeah, on live video, or just type your words out.
Okay. So, okay, yeah, I never really thought about that. That's interesting though.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, because I'm a speech and debate coach.
That's
so
very true.
So that's an interesting way to look at it.
Exactly.
Because I help my students like talk in front of
Yeah.
small rooms of
That's
people,
very
and some
true.
of them even big crowds of people.
Very true.
But social media, that's an interesting avenue to teaching people how to have confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
awesome.
that's a good way to
Yeah.
use social media. Why would social media not be a good thing?
When they post, I want to say when they post, random fights or whatnot. Some of the fights can be funny, but some of the fights can be really serious.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Like sometimes, like somebody will share their opinion, and it's their opinion, and everybody has different opinions, and
Right.
and that's okay. We live in a world where we get along with people with different opinions. But then in the comments, is this what you're talking about? Like in the comments, people will start fighting about that opinion.
No, video like random fights at stores or whatnot.
Oh,
Do
so
live
like
video.
news posts.
Not news
kind
posts,
of.
just people who taking random photos, videos, or
taking
something.
videos of things that probably are not great.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
and,
yeah.
And the comments too, as well.
Yeah, that's not ideal.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm glad I don't really get a bunch of those on my feed, but sometimes like it'll spam.
Yeah.
Yeah, spam and
And on top of that, there's also
Yes.
amongst other things as well.
Yeah, and if we're talking about anxiety, I mean, seeing videos of fights that sometimes when you're scrolling, I mean, you don't always have control over what pops up,
Right.
right? Because like
Right.
you can always say like, "Don't show me this again," but when you're scrolling, like, who knows what's actually gonna show up?
Right.
like, that was actually an issue with, there was an article about how some kids, like underage kids, were scrolling and something really inappropriate came up.
Mm.
And they didn't have any control over it because they were just scrolling through their feed.
Yeah, exactly.
And, yeah, so that's also an issue. We can't always control what we see, which then can increase our anxiety or depression if we see something that's especially harmful. Right?
Right.
Yeah, especially if we see a lot of harmful things, then
Exactly.
it's just really nerve-wracking.
Exactly.
And could skew our view of the world and just present things that aren't realistic.
Very true. Very, very true.
Because that's one issue I have with social media is when I scroll through, I see all of these people being really happy and doing all these things. And so it presents like, oh, everybody's really happy, but I'm having a really crummy day. Like, I'm not having a good day.
Right.
I'm the only one who feels like this.
Right.
But do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think that can be true in a lot of ways.
What could be true?
Like when people are having a great day, some people, other person might feel jealous or something.
Yeah, maybe they feel jealous.
Yeah.
What should people do when they feel jealous?
They should try looking at it a different way, like just be happy for them.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. So be happy for that other person instead.
Exactly.
Of being jealous of them?
Yeah, if they spend time with their kids or something.
Yeah, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so knowing how to recognize those emotions and then being able to turn them into something more positive.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Speaking of that, I had another question. So if you're looking at pictures and you feel jealous, or have you ever felt like alone looking on social media? Like, oh, I feel really lonely.
When I get bored, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what do you do in those situations?
When I get bored, it's not like a depression type thing.
That's good.
It's more like when I get bored, I just want to go on social media. By myself and just look at things that are awesome.
Okay, yeah. Like what kind of things do you look at?
Besides the usual stuff, superheroes and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like new things on, like, for example, now called X. I look up the new stuff, like what other super movies that are filming or whatnot.
Nice.
And trailers and whatnot.
Yeah. Are there any big ones coming out soon?
This year it's gonna be Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Is that one probably gonna be really violent?
Yeah, it will be.
Yeah, probably. Okay. Yeah, I probably won't watch the super violent ones.
Very true.
Yeah. You know me well.
Yeah.
So we had a speaker come in and speak with our students and talking about how what you publish online is permanent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what is your take on that? Whatever you post is permanent. Like, it can't go away.
Well,
what do you think about that?
If you want it to go away, all you gotta do is simply delete the post.
Yeah, but does it ever, like, do people sometimes see it, though, before it's deleted?
They see it, but again, they see it, but sure, they may question the person, but at the same time, when it's deleted, it's deleted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess when I look at that, like, because I'll post something and I'll be like, oh, I don't like that picture of me or something, and so I'll take it down.
Right.
And I know that's kind of a silly example, but
right.
In that case, like, people did see it, so, like, do those people, like, does that change your relationship with them? Could it? If they see something they don't like? And just because a person deletes it, doesn't mean that they never said it. We can't erase that permanently.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. That's true.
So that's something that we try to teach our students is...
Take under consideration.
Yeah, to remember that whatever you do online will follow you into college, jobs.
Right.
A lot of companies, what they do is they'll look people up on social media and then they'll read their posts and
Right.
really try to figure them out as a person.
Right, and their live videos too.
Yeah, they're live videos too.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
What kinds of things do you think social media should be used for?
Just for me, like positive things, like again, families, weddings, whatnot.
So sharing that information?
Sharing that information.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I already asked you what to do if you feel like jealous when you're watching it.
Yeah.
Just how would you said that you would just try to feel happy for the person instead.
Yeah, correct.
But what's a way, like what's a thing that you could do to kind of shift your point of view? Like, do you go on a walk?
I yeah, something like that. I go on a walk and watch anything on YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so something that's like, oh, I like find happiness in something different.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like
exactly.
that. Yeah. Sometimes you call me when you're bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. Very, very true. Very, very true.
Are really down in the dumps, or they might want to post something that is hurtful. What do you think they should do in that situation?
They should.
Do you think they should go ahead and post it if they think it's gonna hurt somebody's feelings?
They should reword it.
Okay.
And do it in a more civilized manner.
Okay, in a more civilized manner.
Yeah. Because
in my head, I'm like, well, if somebody has something like hurtful, like that they want, but they feel like they have to let it out.
Yeah.
Like instead, I would maybe just talk to that person individually. I wouldn't want it posted on social media. I feel like it's less personal that way.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, they should talk. Then that too. They should talk about individually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess sometimes, like, reaching out to people on social media, what if they don't respond? It's kind of like a mystery, but sometimes you just have to take it and have to be like, okay, well, I'm going to find my happiness in something else, right?
Correct.
Yeah, you agree?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the challenges with social media, though, is that you get such quick, like, just in our American culture, everything is fast-paced, right? Like,
right.
We have all the fast food restaurants, or you're on social media, you like a post, you keep scrolling. Vine, when Vine was a thing, the videos were only, like 6 seconds? Was it 6 seconds? Because we couldn't go, because they can't keep our attention for longer than that.
Right,
so,
right.
So sometimes, like on social media, I think it's good to just take healthy breaks from it, because we rely on it so much and we want fast information.
Right.
But we shouldn't rely on it for that.
Very true.
That's my opinion, though.
Very true.
Do you have a different opinion?
I agree. I agree with everything you said.
Yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And that's just about wraps up our time. I want to say thank you so much to Marissa.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All very awesome, favorite sibling. And that's pretty much about it. Have a great day.